They're going to have to find someone he wants to work with, right? This is ultimately, they can't just put someone into that job without Elon really wanting to partner with them. So I think that's a tough order. He is clearly a brilliant guy. I mean, there are very few people you can think of who have imagined as many things and actually executed on them. So it's hard for a board to say you must, and I think until very recently he's believed he could do this himself.
Phil, this report from the Times, very candid interview, certainly has a lot to say here. Stock's reacting pretty negatively to it. Are you surprised to see the stock reacting this way to this? I mean, was this the right move for him to do this interview?
I'm not surprised to see the stock reacting to it because, short-term stock reactions are caused by things that are really incompatible with what it takes to run a really visionary tech company. Things will move up and down based on emotion, based on a misquoted comment, based on some show of vulnerability. Really hard to predict which way they go based on any given thing. I think the best strategy is actually not to trade on very fast corrections up or down, but to kind of look at the fundamentals. Is it a good thing or a bad thing for the company that the CEO has a lot of insight and self-reflection and is capable of self-reflection and self-criticism and capable of being vulnerable? Yeah, that's a great thing. That's a great thing long term. What it means short term is kind of irrelevant.
Susan, I wonder what you think CEOs are saying who go, I work hard, I work long hours, I'm trying to disrupt my business, I've got short sellers, I don't take vacations, and I'm not getting this wave of empathy from the national media. Is that a legitimate point of view?
I think there's more here than just that. I mean, this interview was more than just him being self-reflective. It bordered on almost a breakdown.
That's what the reporters just told us.
Yeah, I think that's what people are really reacting to. Look, there's a ton of research about what happens to you when you don't sleep enough. He's talking about not having taken a vacation for 17 years, or not taking more than a week vacation in 17 years. He sleeps, it seems like, maybe 3 or 4 hours a night. And that's exactly all the things that he needs to be on top of are the things that sleep deprivation harms, right? Mm-hmm. It's your prefrontal cortex that governs problem solving and even inhibition, which
impulse
you can
control.
see.
Right.
Yes, exactly. So I would say, the first thing, if I were in his orbit, I would be saying, we got to find a way to get this guy more sleep, and he can't be working in the office for 4 days straight. It's just not sustainable.
Phil, what should investors understand about the pressure of being a founder who's got investors who expect results, who's got employees who are counting on this company to succeed for a paycheck? I mean, we talk about Elon Musk almost, I feel, as a fictional character. He's a human being who's under pressure. People got money riding on him, though. That's the reality. That's why we're talking about this. So what should investors understand about being in that position, which you, to a degree, of course, have been in?
Yeah, to a much smaller degree than Elon. And look, you're right. People want to see Tony Stark suffer, right? It's part of the hero's journey, the dramatic arc. But Elon's not actually a fictional character. He is a real human being running a company. And yeah, getting enough sleep is absolutely vital. You can't go on for too long without it. It's the CEO's job. It's every CEO's job to build a company that doesn't fundamentally depend on him or her. Every CEO has to build a company that they could walk away from. Really? And that's the only way to actually build a company that you can stay in, that you can lead, is to make it so that it's not completely dependent on you. That's ultimately the biggest work of a CEO, and it sounds like Elon and Tesla are engaged in that and making sure that there's new people, that there's a management team, so that it's not all on Elon's shoulders. And that doesn't actually mean he's going to leave. That actually might mean that's the way that he can stay. But structuring it to be more resilient is the hardest work of being a CEO.